Love him or loathe him, you have to hand it to Lane Kiffin. He absolutely nailed this one. A short time after Alabama won the 2017 national championship, with true freshman Tua Tagovailoa riding to the second-half rescue, Kiffin claimed during an appearance on the Don Patrick Show that people that really know what's going on would tell you that Tua was leaving if he hadn't played against Georgia. Patrick asked for clarification as to Kiffin's assertion that the quarterback was set to transfer if he had remained on the sidelines during that game. No doubt, the former Crimson Tide offensive coordinator, who helped recruit the Hawaii native to Tuscaloosa, flatly stated Thursday, during an appearance at his old junior high school. Tagovailoa left no doubt that post-title game Kiffin's claims were absolutely correct. From HawaiiNewsNow.com, even throughout my football season, I wasn't the starter. Tagovailoa continued. I wanted to leave the school. So I told myself if I didn't play in the last game, which was the national championship game, I would transfer out. If I gave in, I don't think I would have seen the end blessing of where I am now. Tagovailoa also confirmed that his frustration with his very limited role during his first season with the Crimson Tide stretched back much further than the title game. In fact, he acknowledged to the group of students that he had one school in particular in mind if he did leave, while also making the astonishing admission that he was looking at that situation as easier and not as much of a challenge. I called my dad and asked him if my offer to the University of Southern California was still available. Tagovailoa told the crowd of 7th and 8th graders. I wanted to leave. I told my dad I wanted to go to a school where I thought it'd be easier for me and wouldn't challenge me so much. The former Crusader went on to tell the students that this particular conversation with his father took place early in his time in Tuscaloosa, and that it actually landed him in hot water with his family. He said his parents told him he had to push through, and he knew they were right. Given how the national championship game played out, and despite a spring essentially wiped out by injury, Tagovailoa is now widely viewed as the favorite to claim the starting job entering summer camp, so much so, in fact, that the man who kept him on the sidelines for most of the 2017 season, true junior Jalen Hurts, is now considered a prime candidate for transfer at some point before the 2018 season kicks off. Alabama's loss, and West Virginia's as well, is officially Washington State's gain. In late February, Gardner Minshew, a graduate transfer quarterback from East Carolina, confirmed on social media that he had committed to play for Alabama and would enroll at the university in May. Nearly 3 weeks later, Minshew shifted his course significantly, announcing on Twitter that he was proud to say that I'll be playing my last year of college ball at Washington State. Thursday night, Wazoo announced in a press release that Minshew is one of 3 players added to the Cougars roster. As a graduate, Minshew will have the opportunity to use his final season of eligibility in 2018. Minshew started 5 games for the Pirates last season, throwing for 2,140 yards, 16 touchdowns and 7 interceptions in completing just over 57% of his 304 pass attempts. Prior to his departure from AQ, he was penciled in as the Pirates' 2018 starting quarterback. In addition to Minshew, the signing of Lamont McDougal was confirmed as well. The defensive lineman, who will have to sit out the 2018 season, had announced in late March that he was transferring from WVU, following that up nearly 2 months later with an announcement that he was transferring to WSU. Coming out of high school in Florida, McDougal was a 3-star member of WVU's 2017 recruiting class. As a true freshman last season, McDougal played in all 13 games, totaling 23 tackles, 4 tackles for loss and 2 sacks. On the strength of that performance, ESPN.com named McDougal to its freshman All-American team. The third signing on the night was defensive back Chad Davis Jr., who spent his true freshman season at a Kansas junior college. Davis Jr. played his high school football in Daytona, Florida. One battle won, another to be determined. In January, Noah Vedral announced that he would be following Scott Frost, who recruited him to UCF, to Nebraska as a transfer. It was also confirmed at the time that UCF was blocking the quarterback's transfer to Nebraska, which, barring a successful appeal, would have forced Vedral to join the Cornhuskers as a walk-on instead of as a scholarship player. Thursday, however, Frost confirmed that the appeal on that front proved successful. He'll be a scholarship player going forward, the head coach told the Lincoln Journal-Star. He wanted to come back home and be closer to his family, and we're glad to have him. The player's availability for the upcoming season, though, is another matter entirely. From the Journal-Star's report, news still expects that Vedral will have to sit out the 2018 season under normal NCAA transfer rules, but Frost did say the university will help him with any waiver that he wants to try to apply for. Barring the unexpected, Vedral will have 3 years of eligibility remaining beginning with the 2019 season. Vedral, who played his high school football in Wahoo, Neb, was a 3-star 2017 signee who was rated as the No. 6 player at any position in his home state. He played in 8 games for the Knights as a true freshman, completing 22 of 29 passes for 276 yards and a touchdown as the primary backup to Mackenzie Milton. He ran for another 77 yards and a pair of touchdowns on the ground. Matthew Hoon came to SMU as one of its highest-rated recruits a year ago. A little over a year later, Hoon's promise on the field will never be realized as the offensive lineman took to Twitter Thursday night to announce that an unspecified medical issue will force him to end his career in football. Hoon stated that he dealt with the unspecified health situation daily throughout the spring. pic.twitter.com/imbook4u1lvp, Matthew Hoon, at AttilaTheHun65, May 18, 2018. A 3-star member of the Mustangs' 2017 recruiting class, Hoon was rated as the No. 76 offensive tackle in the country. For the 19 recruits in SMU's class that year, only 2 held a 247sports.com rating higher than Hoon's .8528, dual-threat quarterback DJ Gillen's .8656, and fellow offensive tackle Alan Alley, .8656. Hoon took a redshirt his true freshman season, but had been expected to compete for playing time this coming year. The Big 12 requires its members to schedule at least 1 game each season against another power conference opponent. Texas Tech is filling that requirement in 2025 and 2026 with the addition of a home-and-home series with Oregon State of the Pac-12. Texas Tech will host Oregon State on September 13, 2025 in Lubbock, Texas. Oregon State will host the Red Raiders the following season on September 12, 2026, in Corvallis. The two schools have not faced each other since 1959. Texas Tech now has at least 1 power conference opponent scheduled for non-conference play each season through 2020 and from 2022 through 2029. The 2021 season currently has a need for a power conference opponent to go with a home game against FCS Lamar and a road game at Houston. Of course, by the time 2021 rolls around, maybe the AAC will actually qualify as a power conference. You never know, right? Other future power conference opponents for Texas Tech include Ole Miss 2018, Arizona 2019-2020, NC State 2022-2027, Oregon 2023-2024, and Mississippi State 2028-2029. Oregon State has its share of power conference foes lined up on upcoming schedules as well. This year the Beavers open the season on the road against Ohio State, and next year they begin a home-and-home deal with another OSU, Oklahoma State. Oregon State also has a future home-and-home deal with Purdue, 2021-2024. Follow @Kevin on GFB.